Sign everyone up. We're live for this year in the XFL. I'm your host, as always, the referee representing XFL Newsroom. And as you can tell, we got some extra special guests for us here today because it's a big moment. We've been here for a little bit over a year. We're working on our live streams. We're going to have some problems, as you can see. Poor Tron Hawkins in the corner's camera went out on us, but it might come back. We don't know. We'll see what happens. We have plenty of time here, folks. But over to my right, we have the host, or at least one of the hosts of XFL Newsroom Unhinged, JDash. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Oh, let's just say I'm going to be a little bit unhinged, a little bit, hopefully, but I'm glad to be here. We're almost there. Football's here, but a month away. Holy crap. It's been fast.
It flies by. I know you probably, of all the folks here, I think you and I know Tron and I have done work for about a year, but as far as live streams, we've done a few of them throughout the year. And I think it's cool that we finally get to end the year off with our first live panel show. First of many, hopefully, depending on how good or bad this goes tonight, but hopefully for the best. But then we're moving down right below me here. First appearance on this channel, you might remember him delivering picks for the AAF. You might remember him from delivering picks for arena football. But now he's figured it out. He's here with the big boys, the XFL Delivery Guy. How you doing tonight, my man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been pretty crazy over at the Delivery Guy house. A little sad. Cowboys are not going to the playoffs, but we're going to forget all that and focus on the XFL. And I'm pretty excited about the kickoff coming up.
Dude, I'm excited, and I wish you didn't remind me about the Cowboys. I was just watching. Come on, Eagles. Lose to the Giants. Let's make this happen.
All you had to do.
No bueno. All right, but last but not least, the man, Tron Hawkins. Sorry, I stuttered on your name there. From This Is the XFL podcast. How you doing tonight, my man?
Well, at least y'all had something to chill for the Cowboys. I'm a Falcons fan, so I've been waiting for XFL for about 3 months now. Yeah, but it's doing good. If y'all waiting for my cam to come back, y'all going to be very sad by the end of the episode because I probably won't get it back, but it's good to be here with everybody for the first time.
Oh, yeah, like I said, I anticipated we'd have some technical hiccups, but so far, it's not that bad. Hey, we're only a couple minutes in, so we will see. Favorite moments of the year, I think we've all been fans since the XFL's been announced. So, Delivery Guy, like I said, since this is your first appearance on the channel, let me kick it off with you. What was your favorite moment throughout the year with the XFL?
My favorite moment would have to be when they announced all the head coaches. When I got to see who was taking over the teams as head coach and general manager. And for me, that gave me an idea of how these teams are going to start getting their identities on who's going to take the reins. And so that was my favorite moment by far.
Awesome, man. Yeah, the head coaches was great. It was really our first look into what the league was going to look like, especially with Bob Stoops being named number one right off the bat. You kind of got that feeling, okay, this league's doing some things different. And it built up that anticipation, even though we found a lot of those guys maybe a couple days, if not weeks before. Sorry for spoiling the surprise for some of you folks, but all in all, I think, I think that was a big moment here. So let's move on here. Tron Hawkins, XFL podcast, biggest moment of the year. What do you think?
To me, it was the morning of the draft when we found out who the quarterbacks were. Mm-hmm. We already knew Landry Jones, but I don't think we kind of anticipated how good the quality of the quarterbacks was going to be, because I know I was kind of surprised to see Mike McGloin, Aaron Murray, which I'm a Georgia fan, so I knew who he was, because he wasn't even talked about in the weeks leading up to it. Phillip Walker, or P.J. Walker, as he was known. Brandon Silvers, who I think has got a chance to at least be the second best quarterback in the league. Obviously you don't go in the Death Valley against LSU and beat them unless you got balls of steel. So I think the quarterbacks that morning we found out who they were, we kind of got a hint of okay, they've been talking about the quarterbacks all this time, but now we know they was legit when they're talking about the quality of the quarterbacks they was going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right too. There's so many great moments here throughout the year, but yeah, there was some surprises in there. I think a lot of people, looking at, we'll get to this later in some of the snubs and those folks, but I think a lot of people expected Manziel wasn't in the list, but I think ultimately, and I hope he's not listening. I doubt he's listening, but I think we did get higher quality quarterbacks than Manziel. But I'm going to throw it over to you, JDash, a man that doesn't hold back on his opinions. What was your favorite moment of the year?
My favorite moment of the year is going to be simple. The 8 franchises that we have been given, especially for the city, most importantly, for the city of St. Louis, for what they've been through. They finally get a team, and the support's been crazy for that fan base as well. So you got New York, tradition, new LA, tradition from the old XFL, and you got new teams. Seattle, known as the loud, crazy fan support of the 12th man. You got Tampa. Well, that's Tampa. But, of course, Dallas and Houston. You got to get football in Texas. I'm just excited about the 8 teams we get in the XFL, including the city of St. Louis. They finally got a team back.
Yeah, and that is, St. Louis, it's going to be rocking in the Dome. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises in attendance. I don't know. The one I'm worried about, I think a lot of people agree, is probably LA. But the stadium isn't too large, so I think they're going to be able to make do there. Thinking about the year, there's so many things that have happened. So, I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach just because I've been lucky enough to attend various different events. But to me, at least my favorite moment is going back to March with the Spring League and having an opportunity to go see them actually test out those rules. Like, we still don't even have the rule book. We have a good idea what the rules are going to look like, but going back and actually seeing them test out those overtime rules or the kickoffs, doing different tests on the play clock, and again, when you look at this time around with the XFL, there's one thing that they have that the original league didn't, for the most part, is social media, and they're embracing it. They're embracing even the little guys like us, right? Where they're giving. I've had the opportunity to cover events. I know some other folks. We've had different writers and stuff throughout the country cover events for us as well, and even some of those smaller blogs similar to us, or even different podcasts. That's awesome. It's exactly what the league needs to be doing, because the more people are talking about you, you really want it to be in a positive fashion, but the more people talking about you is always a good thing. So looking at kind of what I just said on the XFL is a little bit different this time around. I want to talk about what our expectations are for the league, and I'll leave it up to you to interpret that however you want. But again, because you are a man of opinion, JDash, I got to hear what you got to say.
What's my expectations of this season? Put a great product out on the field that the fans will appreciate. Where in week 4, week 5, week 6 of the season, we're not having attendances like we've seen in Memphis or Salt Lake City in the AAF. You want to see a TV network that's, pumping promotion after promotion because they have a great product on the field. And also I want to see, just good football. And I do believe that the XFL has better players than the AAF, minus a couple of, standalone players that missed out. I just want to see how this league starts off. For people who want to have year 2 or year 3 or year 4, you have to get through year 1. And that starts off with the brand of football of the XFL and how the XFL presents it to the people, to the masses. And that's where it begins. And it begins in a few weeks. And it's kind of tame, but that's how I feel.
Hey, no, I like it. This is good. So let's move on. Delivery Guy, what do you think? What are your expectations?
Well, since I was a big fan of the AAF, my expectation is, can we just finish first season and get to a championship? Now, I actually agree with everything JDash just said. I'm expecting it to be everything that the AAF wasn't, what it was supposed to be. It's got better media outlets. It's got better quality players, I think. The coaching staff is top notch. So I think we're going to see, he said it right, we're not going to see stadiums like in Memphis and Salt Lake and Atlanta. We're going to see fuller stadiums. We're just going to see a better product. And it's just going to be everything that the AAF couldn't do. And it's going to be opportunities for these players to either get to the next level or just keep playing the game that they love.
Yeah, I completely agree. So let's move on. Actually, it's my turn here. I don't even know how to read my own note sheet here. My expectation for the league, I don't want to say everything that you guys just said, but I agree 100% with that. As far as longevity, I think, that second year is going to be a make or break. I think really at this point, it's hard to say that the XFL is not going to make it at least 2 seasons, right? Their TV deals are for 2 seasons. I don't know if all their coaching deals, but I've heard some of their coaching deals are for 2 seasons. They're really setting themselves up for that second season. But depending on, one, looking at the AAF, right? Looking at the numbers that they got, at least when they were on CBS, that first game, they drew over 2 million people. And then even looking at when they were on Bleacher Report, they were pulling in 500,000 people, which I think is pretty damn commendable on something so obscure and niche. A lot of people don't know what Bleacher Report is, let alone how to use it and whatnot. With the XFL, you're not going to have that problem. You're going to get just people flipping through the channels. I think it's going to be easy on your worst game, even later in the season, to hit 2 million people, but I think they're going to exceed that. Now, looking into that second season, it's really about a couple things, I think, is maintaining as many of the players that you can, at least the top tier players, coaches, keep the momentum on TV, build your crowds in those stadiums so you can go into negotiations for year 3 with these TV deals and say, hey, look, we aren't really getting money. You're paying the broadcast deals now, but I think we've built up something to where maybe we deserve something. And then it's you anything can happen, right? They could last as long or as little as they want from there. It's unfortunate looking at what happened. I'm sorry for the rant here, guys, but it's unfortunate looking at what happened with arena football. But ultimately, I think that's going to be good for the XFL too. I think there's going to be a lot of arena fans looking for something else, and they're going to find that in the XFL. But again, sorry folks for the long rant there. I'm going to move on to Tron Hawkins. Sorry to keep you waiting there.
Take a breath. It's okay. You get. To me, I don't think people think about this a lot. I think the broadcasting, like how they're going to broadcast the games, is going to be the best part of the whole league, because you got people that actually want to broadcast the games. Like if ESPN just wanted to be kind of, I can't say, I guess I can, want to be dicks about it, they could have put us on ESPN Plus and make people pay $6.99 a month for it or whatever.
Sure. But
they're actually putting us on real ESPN. They're putting us on ABC, who hadn't had pro football on there since Monday Night Football left in like 2005. You got Fox and Fox Sports 1, and I think more people actually watch Fox Sports 1 now than they do ESPN. So I think the way they broadcast, not only that, if you look at social media, the announcers and everything are promoting the crap out of it, because they actually want to be a part of it. I'm sure they went over there and go, which one of y'all want to do this? And people raise their hands like, I'll do it, because they just, obviously they want the money. Joe Klatt is a legit broadcaster.
Sure.
Steve Levy is probably one of the best announcers that's ever been on ESPN. He just ain't really had a shot to do anything big. He probably should be doing Monday Night Football right now if we're looking at the Monday Night Football team, for being honest. Booger McFarland, for Christ's sake. We still even got him on there. And then you got Pat McAfee, who's probably the biggest personality right now in sports. If we're being honest, like personality-wise, he's going to be a big deal probably in 5 years. He's probably going to have his own show somewhere. They're legit. Everybody's legit. The channel's legit. And that's going to make it fun because they actually want to be there. The channels want to help the XFL. That's why they're picking up the production cost on it. They're not doing that for no reason. They're doing it so it be done good, done right, and done the way it should be.
No, yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, in looking at just the way that the NFL, or NFL on Fox at least, is handling the WWE coming to Fox, they are pushing it nonstop. And I think that we're going to see a lot of that for the XFL. The fact that the Super Bowl's on Fox, that's huge for the XFL, because there's, at bare minimum, going to be a mention. I don't know if we're going to see a full-blown ad, but even the AAF,
there's going to be a commercial.
Yeah,
there's going to be a commercial.
Yeah.
I've heard that there actually will be little 5-second clips during the playoffs on Fox.
Yeah, and that
promoting the XFL.
We'll find out next weekend probably how much they're going to promote it during the wild card game.
Yeah,
that's a good point, actually. I'm excited for playoff football. And then, it's great. This is the one time it finally leads into more football. Well, I guess not the one. It's happened a few times in the past. But I don't know. Since the USFL, I think this seems like the most strong argument for a spring football league. I did feel the same for the AAF for a week or two. It's just unfortunate what happened with if you don't have the money, you're not going to have the product.
Yeah.
And Vince
We were
McMahon,
kind of
he's got
harsh
the
on
money.
them, ref.
Yeah, I know. There's probably still a couple people that don't like me for that, but
Yeah.
I feel, real quick, since we're just kind of joking around, I half feel responsible for putting them out of business because April Fool's Day, I had the joke that we changed from XFL 2K, we were XFL 2K at the time, to AAF 2K, and then the next day they announced they were going out of business. I feel a little bit responsible for that.
It was your fault.
You jinxed him.
I know. Oh man, so I'm going to be very careful with my April Fool's joke this year.
You know, it could have been 2K, just how much money they had left.
Yeah.
Oh.
Poor AAF, man. But okay, let's move on to some championship predictions. So I'm going to start off with
But actually, it's most anticipated
Yeah,
game.
we could do that.
Oh my! Thanks for keeping me honest, guys. I'm not very good at this.
I'll host this now.
Oh,
It's time for most anticipated game.
Hey, and
of the
I'm
year.
up first. Most anticipated
Pre-games are going to be
game.
awesome this season.
Dude, so I have season tickets for the Roughnecks. I have tickets for the Dallas game or the Roughnecks game up in Dallas. Which, if you guys didn't know or anybody listening, if you're a Roughnecks or a Dallas season ticket holder, you get a 6 ticket in your package for each other's game when they go to
I heard a
each
rumor
stadium.
that they are rivals with each other. I don't know if y'all heard that or not.
Oh, it's going to be
With
good.
Dallas and Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know which Dallas-Houston game I'm more excited for, but I'm going to pick probably the Thursday night game for a couple reasons. Is one, I don't have to drive as far. Two, it's one of the only 2 Thursday night games.
You hope it's a playoff game.
I hope, yeah, well, exactly. I hope, man, if anything, we
Hopefully it's
got to
beautiful.
beat Dallas. There's nothing worse than, and again, sorry for everybody listening that's a Renegades fan, but I live in Houston, and there's nothing worse than a Dallas fan. I'm sorry. It had to be said. I'm sorry. Except for I was rooting for the Cowboys today, too. I'm a weird sports fan. I'm from Detroit. I'm a Lions fan. What does that tell you? Don't feel bad about any of my insults. But yeah, I would say Dallas, Houston, either one, but I'm going to go for the Thursday night game, end of the season, playoff possibilities maybe on the line there. But Delivery Guy, what's your pick?
See, I'm going with the opposite. My pick for the most anticipated game would be Houston at Dallas.
Okay.
The reason being is because I live closer to Dallas, but I'm a Roughnecks fan. And so I actually plan on going to that game as a visitor, or rooting for the away team. And I've never done that before.
Yeah.
Usually when I go to games, I'm going to Cowboys games as, fan of the home team. So I plan on being a fan of the away team and just being annoying and obnoxious while I'm there.
Yes.
And so I'm really looking forward to going to that.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you this because, again, I'm a Detroit fan who hasn't lived in Detroit for about 15 years. There's nothing more fun than being a fan of the away team. Sometimes you get around a group of fans that love that team, but it's really more fun when everyone around you is just like, great, they scored. Now we have to listen to this guy again, Oh, man. So, JDash, most anticipated game. What do you got?
Are you sure? Is it me or is this supposed to go to Tron?
Tron Hawkins, what do you got?
I'm just a lonely boy over here with no video. The right answer is L.A. at St. Louis, ain't it? I mean,
Dang you,
the right
Tron.
answer. You got Winston Moss and Hayes don't like each other. You got L.A. going to St. Louis in the Dome, and we all know about that. Even St. Louis posted circled on the calendar saying, "You know why."
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting into the NFL side of it. That's the most anticipated game. Now, I'm going to do a little bonus one. I think the best game of Week 1 is actually St. Louis going to Dallas because you got Dallas's offense against St. Louis's defense because that's St. Louis kind of built up a better defense than they have offense. In this league, you're not going to stop anybody. You're just going to slow them down. If somebody can figure out how to slow down Dallas's offense, they can be beat.
Yeah. I think you're right on both those picks. So sorry about that. Let's move on to JDash now.
Okay. Seeing that Tron stole my thunder,
Now you wish
my
you wouldn't have
most
said anything, did you?
Yeah, true, yeah. My most anticipated game has to be week 1 in Washington. Seattle Dragons and the Washington Defenders. Why? It's the first XFL game. Why? I will be there live with my co-host Carlos for the XFL Hinge podcast. It's the most anticipated game. It's been 2 years waiting, and it's finally here on February 8th at 11 a.m. No, not 11 a.m., but what is it, a 4 o'clock game?
I think it's 2.
It's a 3 o'clock
Let me
game.
pull out my. Oh, that's not the full schedule. I don't have it in front of me. But yeah, it's the early game.
It's the first game.
Yeah.
And the anticipation, it's going to be cold. Well, if you are some people that believe in weather, it might not be cold, maybe a little warmer than usual. But you finally get to see Cardell Jones, a big time signing for the XFL from how I say it, no one expected, basically. And Brandon Silvers. No one thought he was going to be in the XFL. Got 2 marquee quarterbacks and 2 offenses I think are going to be some of the most exciting. And my honest opinion, I think DC might have the best defense in the league based on roster. But that's my opinion. I'm not a fan of DC, just saying. I'm just more looking forward to that game because it kicks it all off.
I was actually waiting for that answer from someone. I was worried we wouldn't get to it, but good. I'm glad we made the rounds on that one. So now we are at the championship predictions. Tron Hawkins, you're going first. I know how to read and order this time. What do you got for the
Good job.
championship predictions?
I got in the championship game. I got the DC Defenders beating the Dallas Renegades.
Beating the
I think-
Renegades. Ooh.
Yes. I think DC, not only do they have the good defense, they got Cardell Jones, which some may say would probably be the 2nd or 3rd best quarterback in the league. Not only that, their running backs are legit. And here's the thing about running the ball. If Dallas don't have the ball, they can't score. So I see Dallas just running on them and winning the game, which I've seen Dallas in the betting odds being like, DC in the betting odds being like in the second half of the league. And I don't see how you can look at that roster and even think that. So I got DC beating St. Louis in the East, Dallas beating LA in the West, and then DC beating Dallas in the championship game.
Oh, you went
Who
full
hosts?
in depth there. I'm sorry?
Who's the number 1 overall seed?
Who's the one overall seed?
Yeah.
It's going to be Dallas.
Okay.
Okay, I like that. So
But
JDash. Sorry, go on.
But
Yeah.
the championship game is going to be in Houston, I bet.
I
Let's
hope
go throw
so.
that out.
I hope so. It doesn't belong anywhere else. I'm sorry for everyone else listening, but it's
They
too
haven't done
convenient
all this.
for me.
They haven't done all this in Houston for no reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they're doing training camp and stuff in Houston. I guarantee. I wouldn't bet money, but it's going to be in one of the 8 cities. It ain't going to be in Las Vegas or anything like that. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, I'm going to try to travel wherever it is, but yes, I would be very happy if it's in Houston. I'd be perfectly fine with Dallas. New York, if I have to, I'll try. We'll get there. So JDash, championship predictions.
Well, if championship predictions, what Tron does. Give you my little playoff little scenario. The best record in the XFL will come from an Eastern Conference team. In my opinion, a lot of people are not going to like it. I think it's going to be St. Louis. I think they will have the best record in the XFL, but they're not going to be the best team. The best team will be out in the West, and that is, drumroll please, Brandon Silvers and the Seattle Dragons. They will win the West, but they'll be, of course, not the overall number 1 seed. And I got St. Louis versus Seattle XFL championship game with Seattle winning it all.
Wow.
12th man up in here.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, they have a fandom like no other. Those Dragons fans, they're to be rivaled with those St. Louis fans. So I think that would be a great matchup just for the fandom alone, right?
Seattle's running backs are legit too. If you've been watching their social media, they're going to be hard to deal with.
Yeah. So let's move on here to the Delivery Guy championship predictions.
Okay, so I'm going to follow suit and give you my predictions for the East and the West. So I think in the West, the Western Finals is going to be the Dallas Renegades versus the LA Wildcats. And I think the LA Wildcats are going to take that. And then I think the East is going to be between the Defenders and the Battlehawks. and I think the Battlehawks are going to take it. So we're going to see a matchup between the coaches, between LA and St. Louis again. I like LA. I think they have a great offense put together with a very defensive-minded coach. So I think they're going to have a very well-rounded team. And I think with St. Louis, they have a crazy good receiver core. The guys they picked were just really, really good. I liked who they got. And they have a good defense, so I think they're going to be a well-rounded team. Who's going to win it? My gut says LA is going to win it all.
And that's a bold prediction. I think there's a lot of people that I think LA is the underdog, but I agree with you. I don't think they should be. I think and another tricky one, and I'm not going to go into my prediction yet, but another tricky one I think is going to be the Vipers. I think they could be a sneaky team. I know, I see the head shaking, but you guys watch.
No.
You guys watch. Now, I've heard that they poop standing up. I've seen that online all the time. I don't know where that started.
Won 2 games.
But I don't know. Tressman might have something sneaky up his sleeve. But my predictions here, so I guess I'll follow suit with everyone. Going from the East, I think we get the Defenders. Defenders in St. Louis. And it's a tough one, but I'm going to go Defenders here. I'm going to go Defenders. And on the West, I know everyone's going to hate me, but I'm going to say Houston, Dallas in the for the West here. I'm going to go Homer style. I'm picking Houston, and I'm picking Houston to win. We're going to rough them up.
No way.
We're going to run and shoot all over everyone.
Breaking news.
There's nothing you can do. I am not biased. I don't care what you say. We're just the best, and it's not bragging if it's true.
That's not something that somebody biased would say.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, hey, that was just really kind of the intro. Now we have the best of 2019. So that's really what we're here for. We have this year in the XFL. So usually we do it on a weekly basis, but this is the first year that it really made sense. And we asked you, the fans, what do you think the best moments are? And we have all sorts of categories. And we're just going to kind of run through them one by one here. So, and same thing, I'm just going to ask you guys, and then we'll announce the winner here. So let's move over to the right screen. Nope, there we go, guys. See, I knew we'd have some technical hiccup. There we go. We got to it. So, favorite team. Doesn't necessarily need to be the best team, but your favorite team. I'll kick it off because I think I already showed my cards on this one. But the Houston
Let's
Roughnecks.
Houston, everybody.
Yep, rough them up. We're going to drill them. Working for H-Town. June Jones is going to run and shoot all over you. It's going to be a good time. And I don't care what you say. There's no defense that can stop us. And we're going for 3 points on every extra point conversion. I don't care. But now that I got that out of the way, feeling pretty good, by the way. JDash, who do you, favorite team?
The Orlando. Oh, wait, wrong league.
Oh.
Sorry, I had to do that. I have to say, I guess Dallas. Bob Stoops, big game Bob. Landry Jones. It's that brand, that name. Do I think they're going to win it all? No, but it's the name, it's the brand, it's what the XFL needed. That big name, and that's the favorite team.
Good. All right.
I'm more of a league fan than actual team, as you can tell throughout all my podcast, but
yeah.
I'll say Dallas.
No, I'm glad you made the pick and didn't take the easy road out. But let's move on over to the delivery. Oh, no, sorry. I did it again. Tron Hawkins. Who do you got? Favorite team? I'm a jerk.
I mean, I can deliver stuff if I need to. I just don't want to. But I like the LA Wildcats. I mean, not just because I had the T-shirt on, which y'all can't see that, but their president, HBK, she's awesome. Their coach is probably the best, like most energized coach in the league. Let's be honest, the quarterback's going to be Josh. It ain't going to be Luis Perez. Their running back Elijah Hood's good. The wide receivers are spruce, and some of them is amazing. And he's obviously not afraid to cut people if they act up. So I think they're my favorite team. I just enjoy all their social media and stuff they do. So the Wildcats.
All right, man. So let's we'll end it off here with the delivery guy. I think we already know, but I'll let you say your piece.
It's going to be H-Town, the Roughnecks, working for you. It was one of those things, that's a family history thing. We were growing up, my dad and my grandpa, all of them were Houston Oilers fans, and they were so hurt when they left. And so we transitioned to Cowboys fans. So when the Roughnecks announced, I had to pick Houston. We lived in Houston for a while, then we moved over here closer to Dallas, so I had to go with my roots. So I'm picking Houston. They're just great.
Well, and especially if you guys were Oilers fans, then you're loving the jersey and the helmets and the logo. It's spot on.
Yeah.
So favorite team, we went through everyone's announcements. So here's what everybody online shows, and I think there might be a surprise here, but we're going to unveil it. It is Seattle Dragons. Seattle Dragons, one favorite team. Those I kind of alluded to this earlier, but the Dragons fans coming out in full force supporting that team. But like I said, there's going to be some surprises in here, and luckily, and I'll say at least this, hopefully it doesn't spoil everything, not one team won every category, which is exactly how I was hoping it would be. I was worried that, just the fans of one team would just spam something. But something I forgot to mention here, too. We're looking at over 1,000 entries here, so I think that's a fair sample size of what the league is looking at. Me, personally, I expected the Battlehawks to win, just looking at the social media sizes. But we got the Seattle Dragons. So we're going to move on to the next one here, the best logo. We'll start it off with you, Delivery Guy. Who do you think's got the best logo?
You already said it. It has to be the Houston Roughnecks. Has to be them. Only because, one, their color scheme is great, unlike Tampa, and their logo is such a respect to the history of that city's sports, their sports history. They took that Oilers logo, made it their own, and a lot of Houstonians are going to love that. And I loved it. I loved it. As soon as I saw it, that was my team.
Yeah. Yeah, I said it earlier. Yeah, there's that throwback is just so perfect for that Houston team because, and sorry to divulge, even though it's not my turn here, but hey, I'm the host. Get over it. No. The Texans are good. I always forget that the Texans are pretty good because nobody in Houston really cares about the Texans. People say they do, but I think there's still probably more Cowboys fans here. And again, me, especially coming from out of state, I'm always either a Lions fan, which is really hurtful every year, or a Pistons fan or a Tigers fan. But now I feel like the Roughnecks, this is my team, right? This is the first team. I was here, and then the Roughnecks came here. And so now I feel like it's really easy for me to adopt them as my Houston team. And I'm not going to lie, I was a Astros fan when they were doing good, but that was mainly Verlander. He came from the Tigers, and he needed a ring. But I'm sorry, I do this to you every time. Tron Hawkins, what do you got for me, man? Best logo.
I was thinking Tampa, then I remembered that looks like a female reproductive organ. So it's actually the Guardians. I love the Guardians logo. Don't know exactly what it is, but it looks awesome on the helmets, which we'll get to later. But I think they got the best logo probably of anybody.
Yeah, the Guardians logo is pretty slick. I tend to agree. But before I give my opinion, let's move over to JDash. What favorite logo? Best logo?
Thank you, Tron. Seeing that Tron stole my thunder again, I do love the Guardians logo. But so my number 2 logo will be the Antichrist or the anti-villain or whoever you want to be. I'm going to be the stubborn guy. I do think Dallas has a pretty nice logo. It's just like that color combination makes that logo pop out like the color combination of the Guardians. And I hope to God no one says Tampa. Anyone can do the V. It's very simple. But yeah, I like Dallas logo. But Tron needs to stop stealing my thunder before I,
To be fair on Tampa though, if Tampa used that alternate logo, the snake, I think it'd have been up there with one of the best logos. If I'm being honest.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
I think it would have been second to last.
Well, this is not last.
So it's my turn here, and I'm really tempted to vote for the Vipers now, just because I guess I'm just a bad guy, but I can't even do that to myself. I'm sorry, Vipers fans. I don't care. There are Vipers fans. They do exist. They do exist, and I don't want to offend any one of you guys. So if you guys want to join in the fun and contribute to XFL Newsroom and help let your team be represented, might be your chance because you can see how it might start going real quick.
The Vipers are the XFL version of the Atlanta Myths. I mean, legends.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the myths. I forgot about that. Those were good times. So my favorite logo, I honestly I have a tie. I am going to repeat two answers here, but I'm going to go with Houston and the Guardians. It's hard for me to pick between the two. I tend to say Houston, but it really might be because I'm a Homer fan, and it possibly is. But the Guardians.
Paid by Houston to say this stuff.
No, I'm not. I swear, But hey, if you guys wanna, I only live right down the block, folks.
It's starting to sound like a political ad here, Rick.
You guys have the phone number. Let's make it happen. But no, I would say between Houston and New York. Now, I would say, and I'm gonna go bold here. I'm gonna say a close, like second, third, LA. I like the LA logo. It fits for me.
I agree.
I don't think every logo needs to be a logo. I think it's nice to have something switched up with just the lettering. I like their alternative logo. The only thing I would change with their alternative logo is they should remove one of the claw marks, so it could potentially be like a W. That's the only criticism I would have on the Wildcats alt logo. But let's go. What did the fans think? Let's take a look. And drum roll, please. St. Louis Battlehawks. None of us predicted it, but it happened. And I like the logo. There's a few things I do like about it. There's, like, if you flip the logo upside down, you see STL, and there's pi hidden between the two T's and an L. So there's some things as like a marketing guy and from a design aspect that I can appreciate. Just me personally, I don't know. But let me ask you guys. We'll just run down the list here. JDash, what do you think about the Battlehawks logo here?
It's an okay logo, but what turned me off about this logo is when they put it on the helmet. If you're literally trying to copy the Philadelphia Eagles helmet, just do the Philadelphia Eagles helmet. I love the color scheme. I love the actual logo, but you put that logo on the helmet, it turns me off. That's my opinion about St. Louis. I'm not saying it's bad. It's better than Tampa. In LA, in my opinion, but it just doesn't look right on the helmet, in my opinion.
Delivery guy, any thoughts?
I actually think if Tampa's the worst, I would say St. Louis is just a notch above them. I don't like it at all. I don't know. There's just something about it that just seems, I think the word I'm looking for is like pedestrian. Kind of like the Dragons logo. Mm-hmm. Just like something they could find off clip art. I just wasn't super impressed with it.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Meanwhile, every Battlehawks fan is turning this off right now. I might skip the opinion piece next award. Tron, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't mind it, but unlike all the other logos in the league, it still don't tell us what the hell a Battlehawk really is. Because you got the fans going caca, and it's not even a bird. It's like supposed to be like a warplane, ain't it? So I don't understand. It's just a sword with wings, so it still don't tell us. We look at at least when we look at the LA logo, or even the Vipers logo, we know, okay, it's a snake, and they're from LA. Like, it still don't tell us what the hell a Battlehawk really is, if we're being honest.
No, I think that's a valid criticism as well here. But let's edge away from this conversation. Let's move into the
before they turn us off.
Yeah, sorry, I'm watching the view numbers. They're just dropping right now. Come on, folks, we didn't mean it. But let's move on. We have best slogan here. So I'm going to start it off here. I'm going to say best one, I like Raising Hell. I think it's the most bold of the four. I think it makes a statement. It's a little bit different. I didn't pick my home team. And since I'm on the pedestal here, and again, I hope nobody takes this too personally if anyone's listening, but that's probably my least favorite one. I think that they really missed an opportunity to go for hashtag rough 'em up or hashtag drill 'em or something. I think working for H-Town is safe. But yeah, I'm going to go with Raising Hell. But J-Dash, what do you got for us? Favorite logo?
Even though...
Slogan? Yes, sir.
Even though I just bashed this logo and this organization just a second ago, but give me that Top Gun theme and get me clear to engage. I love that. That tells me that you're going, you know what, let's get ready, let's go kick some ass in the game. I love that slogan. Yeah, I agree with you with Houston, by the way. That just seems like it's too low-key. But it was either Raising Hell or Clear to Engage. Those were my top two, and I have to go with St. Louis because we need to bring back those St. Louis fans that we just chased away. So
yeah, guys, somebody start tweeting this out. Tweet it out, JDash. Say, hey, we're talking good about you guys again. Tron Hawkins, what do you got? Favorite slogan?
I'm going to surprise some people. I like "Ready to Strike" by Tampa Bay. I mean, it just fits. I mean, it's just saying you don't know when it's coming, especially with Chessman's offense. They're going to strike. They're going to throw the ball deep and probably score a touchdown. I mean, "Ready to Strike" actually it fits with the Vipers. I like it better than working for H-Town in the Wildcat way. I mean, the Wildcat way. I think they missed opportunity with that too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, "Ready to Strike." I think it fits. I think it fits really good with football terms and with the whole snake theme.
Yeah, I like it. Delivery Guy, what do you got here?
Man, so I had my favorite in mind. Somebody said it. So I went with my next one. Somebody said it. I went with my third one, and then Tron just said it. So if I had to go with my other favorite one, it would have to be just "On Duty" with the New York Guardians, because it's just simple. I think it can be all encompassing. Like it could mean on duty with offense and defense. You know what I mean? I just like it because it really represents what they're trying to be. You know, that might even work for the DC Defenders on duty. You know, the DC Defenders fell in the same trap as Houston did. Mm-hmm. So I would have to say if the ones y'all picked were some of my favorites, but if I had a piece different, I would go with the Guardians on duty.
And I appreciate that. But let's see what the fans had to say. Quite honestly, I can't remember who won this, but I have a good idea. But we're going to drum roll this out. Yep, just like I thought. Raising hell for the Dallas Renegades. Renegades fans, cheer, pat yourself on the back. It's going to be better than when we beat you, this April. But again, we don't want to lose those fans either. Let's just move on. Best venue. And again, it doesn't have to be the venue closest to you. Just what do you think the best venue in the league is? Delivery Guy, we're kicking it off with you here. What do you got?
I was debating between two, but if I'm going to choose one, I'm going to choose CenturyLink in Seattle. I think that'll be the best venue. They know how to host games. They know how to do it right. And their fan base, they show up for Seattle games. Home games, they show up. And I think they're going to show up for the Dragons, especially with Jim Zorn. They love him there. They're going to show up and represent. I think that's going to be one of the best venues.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something here. If you looked at the mini camps that they opened up to fans last weekend, a couple weekends ago, I think there was over 1,000 people there just for the mini camp, which, Houston did pretty well, but nothing like that, and that says a lot. Tron Hawkins, my man, didn't forget you this time. Best venue. Uh-oh. Did we lose you?
Did we lose Tron?
Going once. Going twice.
Going twice.
All right, we're going to move on to JDash. I'm going to ping him in the background here. Best venue.
The best venue of all sports usually goes to the team that will have the biggest crowds. And usually, teams with the smaller stadiums have better advantages. I'm going to give you guys a wild card. Audi Field, D.C., because it holds 20,000. That means they don't have to put a lot of people in the stands like Globe Life Park or the Dome, for instance, or CenturyLink Field to make it look full. You put 17,000 people in that stadium's going to look full. I'm going to have the experience to be at Audi Field on opening week, so hopefully the on-field, being on top of this pretty much field, but based on this design of the stadium, makes it more of a fan, more of a hostile environment for opposing teams. And I just want to see how a football game or XFL game of this magnitude fits in a stadium like MLS size stadiums, and that could be something that we look forward to in the future. But I'm looking forward to Audi Field.
Yeah, you stole mine. So you got one in. You finally got to steal one. I hope you feel real good about yourself. And I'm debating. I'm not going to pick my hometown stadium right off the bat. I'm going to say, the other one that I would probably pick is going to be the Dome. At least for that first week, they are going to have it rocking. I think people miss football in St. Louis. You're getting so much coverage from the media out there. And most importantly is they're really the only fans in the league that don't need to worry about weather, right? They have the dome, even if it's going to be cold outside, which still surprises me that they play on the road for the first 2 games. I would have assumed that would have been a good opportunity to have host maybe New York or Seattle, maybe some of those colder areas those first 2 weeks. But that's what I'm going to go with since you took the Audi Field. Now, naturally, my favorite stadium is TDECU. Hey, we got you on camera now. We're cooking with butter. I don't know if that's a saying, but we are doing it.
Let's see how long it lasts. But
yeah.
Okay.
Now, naturally, TDECU is my favorite because I have seats there. Section 190 represent. I'm ready to get loud. But let's see. I'm not skipping anyone, right? Yes. Let's see.
Mine's Audi Field. I'm just going to put it out there. So it's the newest one. It's small. It's going to be intimate. So that's why it's my favorite. So that's fine. Go ahead.
No, good. Hey, sorry. I'm glad you brought up. I forgot that's when you dropped out here. So, yeah, good. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got, what the fans chose. CenturyLink Field. So, Delivery Guy, you were on point with that. And I think for the same reason.
The 12th man.
Yep. Yeah, I think they're going to be rocking. I think it's going to surprise. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. You know, clearly the XFL is not going to sell out any of these stadiums completely, you know, from the bottom and the top bowl. But I think they're going to do very well in the lower bowl. I'll tell you this. I may have brought this up on one of my other shows or brought it up to you guys separately. But when I went to the mini camp in Houston, they had red markers on the seats that were available, and there's not many. There's really not many. Most of them are sold out, which it is a great thing, but it could be a problem if they're all season ticket holders and people get bored after a couple weeks. But I'm tending to believe that, you know, the weather's too good in Houston. It's such a good opportunity to do something affordable with your family. But CenturyLink Field, sign them up. So we're moving on. Best quarterback of the league. Now I'm gonna go first here. I'm gonna make 3 picks. I'm gonna make 3 picks here. I'm gonna give my reasons for them.
Well, leave us something.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. The first one is I am sorry, BJ Daniels, right? Because he I knew I was gonna screw up. Brandon Silvers. God, I hope nobody's watching this. Brandon Silvers, because he joined us
Same thing
this week in the XFL. But then I'm going to make it easy for everyone else because nobody's going to pick this guy, I don't think. I'm going with Connor Cook. I'm going with the number 2 pick in the XFL draft. JDash, what do you got for me?
Well, seeing that you stole the thunder with Brandon Silvers, I got to go to the number 1 overall player. The first signee is Landry Jones. Let's see if he can be the XFL's Mahomes, Brady, Aaron Rodgers type of player that can bring butts to seats and eyes on TVs. And a quarterback, in my opinion, to look out for is a little guy that no one wants to talk about, but I think he is going to be a very sneaky, should start, but Tron doesn't like him, apparently. Luis Perez. I do believe he's a very solid quarterback. I think he has the tools. He's just been overlooked his whole career. So those are my 2 guys.
All right, so let's move on over to Tron Hawkins. Who do you got? Best quarterback.
It's an LA quarterback. But it's Josh Johnson. And the reason why is this: one, no, listen, he's got credentials. I mean, he's played for all 32 NFL teams, but he's a veteran. He was actually the first pick in the AAF quarterback draft over some of the people like Luis Perez and Aaron Murray and some of them. Not to mention Oliver Luck, pretty much when he was doing an interview about how the Lions wanted him, pretty much said he was going to be a starting quarterback for the Wildcats. I mean, he kind of let the cat out of the bag. It makes you think that maybe that's who they originally wanted, and they just couldn't get him at the time. So they kind of just set on Luis Perez because he was assigned to LA. It wasn't like it was like a free agency pickup. He was assigned to LA because LA wanted him. I think he fits better with what Norm Chow wants to do, and I think he will be the starter week 1 against y'all's favorite team, the Roughnecks.
He could be the starter as long as we win. That's fine. Let's move on over to the delivery guy here. Who do you got? Best quarterback.
Okay, so I remember watching Luis Perez in the AF, and he was something to watch. Especially considering his history, his football history, he's really something. But I would think Josh Johnson's going to get the start over him. I think he's just simply better. I think with his recent experience with the Redskins and then coming over here and how another team wanted him, like Tron just said, Josh Johnson's going to get the start. But that's not who I'm picking. I just wanted to make sure JDash knew he was wrong.
I like this delivery guy. I like him.
I just had to deliver that to you. I'm excited about Matt McGloin in New York because of the head coach that he has and the guys that the Coach Gillibrand who he's worked with in the past and what he's going to do with Matt. So I'm really excited to see him take the field and see what he can accomplish.
I think those are all great picks. Quite honestly, I think all the quarterbacks are pretty solid in this league, which is awesome, just to say, right? But let's see what the fans thought here. I don't know if it's going to be a hard one for everyone to figure out, but it is Landry Jones, which kind of makes sense. He was the first guy to come out. Everyone knew he was going to be in Dallas, the most unkept secret in town. But we're going to move to the biggest draft, or the best draft pick. And I'm going to start this one off.
You're skipping one. I think next is the
I am the worst at this. How did I? Oh, that's right. I'm the boss. I can do whatever I want. Best announced team, delivery guy. What do you got for me?
Kurt Menefee and Joe Klatt. I think they're going to be great together. I think they have great presence. They have great knowledge, especially Joe's going to come with their college experience and all that knowledge. And I just like both of them in general. So to have them together, to me, I'm just super excited about that.
I agree. So let's move on. Tron Hawkins, best, and we can say the same ones. There's only 3 to choose from here. We're going to overlap sooner or later, but go on.
It's Kurt McAfee and Joe Klatt. Joe Klatt knows a lot of these guys because a lot of these guys came from the college game, so he scouted them and seen them probably on Fox, some of the Big 10 guys and Big 12 guys. And Kurt McAfee, he's been the host in the Fox pregame show for forever now, and he's getting kind of back to where he kind of started at. So yeah, I think they're definitely the best announced team. Nothing against the other two. But I just like hearing. I'll just enjoy hearing them two together. I think more than all the other two that we got to choose from.
For sure. JDash, best announced team.
Mine's not gonna be an announced team. Mine's gonna be a certain individual. And give me that crazy punter from Indianapolis. Give me all of Pat McAfee, please. I don't care what channel he's on. Just give me them, please. He makes the game very exciting. Makes his product very exciting. But if it's an overall crew. I got to side with the guys. I do agree with them. Kurt Menefee and Joe Clark. Honestly, in my honest opinion, really, they picked a great cast for all the games. It's going to be really awesome presentation on TV, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I think, and even before I give my answer here, I'll give my answer because it's just a mixture of all the answers here. But yeah, Kurt Menefee, Joe Klatt, obviously the top choice here. Nothing against the other guys. But yeah, that honorable mention goes to Pat McAfee. I want to see as much of that as I can. He's the perfect guy in the perfect role for what they have him doing, just hanging out on the sidelines, running in. And it sounds like they're giving him kind of free reins to do whatever he wants. And he's the kind of guy that's going to do it there. I'm excited to see that. But let's see what the fans thought on the best announced team. And I don't think it's going to be any surprise here. It's the Fox crew. It's Kurt Menefee, Joe Klatt. Like I said, I don't think there's any surprise there. But I think this was touched on by a few guys here. Just having all of these announced teams are a million times ahead of the original XFL. Like we don't have JR. We don't have Jesse the Body Ventura. We have guys that a lot of people are going to recognize as football announcers, right? Especially Kurt Menefee. Me personally, I like the Fox pre-show every Sunday. So if I didn't know the XFL was around and I'm sitting around on a Saturday or Sunday and I'm flipping through the channels, I'm like, wait a minute, Kurt Menefee's on my TV talking about football. Wait a minute, the XFL's back. I'm going to probably check it out and just because it's going to be kind of a little shock to see, this is way more professional than I ever thought it would be. But again, all of the teams are pretty solid. Again, better than the last time around. And we touched on this earlier.
For a second?
Yeah.
Just add on to top of it. For all the XFL fans that are with us today, thank you. Appreciate watching us. These crews got to do one thing only. They need to present the product to the XFL as a league itself, not as what it used to be in 2001, because majority of the people who think of the XFL think this league is a joke. I work for Florida State University's media, and I'll know a lot of fans from Florida State side that think the XFL is a bunch of jokes. So that just tells you where what our opinion is about the league and where the actual national media and actual bigger fan bases believe what the XFL is. And the production and presentation by these crews, if they hit it out of the park, you'll see this league succeed because people will start coming back. It's like, oh, this is actually real football. This is not the old XFL. So we just need that to hopefully kick off. And hopefully it's, in a couple of years, 3 years on a row, we're talking about a very successful XFL.
I hope so, and I think so. I think so, but yeah, a lot of it's going to have to do with this production value. And I think we're going to see a lot of things that the XFL innovates, whether they succeed or don't succeed. We saw it with the Spider Cam the first time around. I think we're going to see a lot of heavy usage in that augmented reality space. We see the WWE testing it out at kind of their major pay-per-views with WrestleMania, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, where they have the augmented reality graphics, kind of hovering over the crowd. I think we're going to see a lot of things like that in the XFL, and just experimental things, like even going back to the Spring League, they were posting different videos of like all the technology partners that it came out, tried new things, but they had like the helmet cam where, I don't know, I wish I had it on hand to show it here. And if you haven't seen it, look it up after this stream. But it basically shows from the receiver's standpoint of the ball going in the air, landing in their arms. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I think that is going to set them apart. And quite honestly, I think the quality of gameplay is just going to be better. We saw the first step of it with the AAF. But quite honestly, it's unfortunate for the AAF, but fortunately for the XFL, they got a lot of free labor out of that. But, a lot of players in the XFL were in the Alliance. So they at least had they were playing last year. They were getting used to that similar, different style of play. Also, although there are going to be some differences between the two here. But I think ultimately that did the league a favor. Plus, we inherited all sorts of back office members, front office members, things like that. But again, I'm going to stop going on here. We're going to move on to the best draft pick or your favorite draft pick. I'm going fully homer. I already brought it up earlier in this pick. Connor Cook, number 2 pick in the draft. Michigan State quarterback, my home state, Michigan. So I'm super excited about that. And honestly, just real quick to piggyback on that comment, I don't think we're going to have a competition for quarterbacks in Houston. I think we're going to see a healthy dose of both quarterbacks. I think June Jones is going to be swapping those guys out. Maybe by the quarter, maybe by the drive, who knows. But I think we're going to see a healthy dose of those guys just for the fact that he picked a quarterback, number 1, before anything, after just receiving, an assigned quarterback. But that's my pick. Tron Hawkins. Oh, sorry. JDash. I almost did it to you this time. Best draft pick.
Best draft pick is actually a very, 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 the hero build-up character, Jeremiah Spencer, linebacker, going to the LA Wildcats. I believe that's a real story that you can build a story off of him on the national media, and, this will help, push the product. And I think that what that guy's gone through and finally getting his chance with the LA Wildcats, I think that's a very good story, and I think that's what makes this league good. It gives those guys a chance. So I think he is something to be proud about. That's why he's my best pick.
So I have some bad news for you, JDash. I
Yeah.
have some unfortunate news for you. So
Yeah, tell him.
Unfortunately, my man Jeremiah Spicer has been cut by the Wildcats.
Jesus!
He's not giving up though, and I still expect to see him in the league, if not in Team 9. I don't think we've seen the last of Jeremiah Spicer, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Fine, I bear bad. So I'll go to my boy, my friend. Not really friend. I've known him, and I know a couple of his colleagues. Reggie Northrop, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Vipers.
I was way expecting you to say Sean Oakman so I could break the news to you twice, but I'm glad you didn't.
Well, there goes my pick.
Okay, so let's move on here to Tron Hawkins, best draft pick.
Well, I think I froze again. Anyway, I like, and I think he could have went first overall. I like Christine Michael. He went 9th overall to St. Louis. He played for Seattle. He was a good running back at Texas A&M. He just had a lot of injuries along the way. I think he kind of fits in what St. Louis wants to do, run the ball and play good defense. So I think Christine Michael could have went way. He should have went ahead. He should have went number 1, to be honest with you, probably, if you look at all the running backs in the league. But yeah, Christine Michael fits in what they want to do, just ground and pound. I think he might be a dark horse MVP candidate.
I kind of agree there, but let's move on to Delivery Guy, best draft pick.
For me, the best draft pick with I think the scheme what they're going to try to do is wide receiver Rashard Ross to the LA Wildcats. I watched him play in the AAF, and he was super impressive. He was strong, physical, quick. It was against when he played the Apollos, when they won with the Arizona Hotshots, when they won that game, or it was against Salt Lake. He got injured, yet he would come out, make a 30, 20-yard catch, get hurt, and then get out, but he kept coming back in and making plays, so he's tough. And having him with Josh Johnson thrown to him, I think he's going to be amazing. So for me, he was the best pick.
I like that. I like that take, and I think that's kind of a dark horse pick, which is good. I like the diversity in the picks here. I did, this is the one I did forget to make a card for this one, but I'll just announce it. So the fans chose Christine Michael as the best pick. So
Ooh.
Tron Hawkins, I think you got it on the dot there. Sign you up. But now we're gonna go to the complete opposite. Biggest draft snub. Delivery Guy. We're gonna start with you. End with you. Start with you. Biggest draft snub. Who do you got?
I have tweeted about this multiple times. Carter Schultz is the biggest draft snub in the XFL. That dude should get a chance with one of these teams. He was phenomenal in the AAF. Then he went to the Vikings afterwards and did well there in the preseason. I thought for sure he was going to get drafted. I am still shocked that he's not picked up right now. I don't know what he's doing. I've tweeted about this. He's tweeted to me about this. His agent has told him that he's ready. He wants to do it. For some reason, they haven't picked him up. He was leading tackler and sacker leading in sacks in the AF for a while. He is just where the ball is. He's quick. He's strong. I'm just disappointed he's not in the league.
And I think there's a lot of fans that share that sentiment. I've seen that online. Quite honestly, I didn't remember the name. I felt bad. But yeah, looking him up, I'm quite surprised. I have to imagine there's a reason, but I don't know what the reason is, and I'm not going to speculate on that. Tron Hawkins, biggest draft snub. Who do you got?
Tara Owens. I'm just kidding.
Well, you're right. That was the worst one for me, I'll tell you.
I'm just kidding.
We are fake news.
Zach Mettenberger. I know that name I know people know the name. People forget that when he was in the NFL, the Tennessee Titans, he actually did pretty good, and some of his teammates were kind of pissed off though when they picked Marcus Mariota because they thought Mettenberger should have been the quarterback. If you kind of overlook what he did in the AAF and kind of look what he did for Tennessee and LSU, and even it kind of came out that he was doing like featurettes for the XFL and everything, and he was actually being promoted by them. And then it just kind of disappeared. A lot of people thought he was going to be a tier 1 quarterback. Actually, I think he might be actually a better quarterback than maybe Aaron Murray or some of them. So I think he's the biggest draft snub because I think he might be. I thought he would have been one of the tier 1 quarterbacks, if I'm being honest.
So I want to give Delivery Guy a chance to rebuttal here because I saw some movements going on, and I figured this might.
No. I don't know, because you talked about his performance at AAF, and I remember watching it, and it was brutal to watch him, man.
Yeah, I know.
It was hard. Not only was
some of that you got to look at his teammates around him too, though. I mean,
that's true. But he did have he had, I forgot which his receiver was, Reese Horn, who is on a team, and then he had one of the best running backs as well in the AF with Zach Stacy. It was also the way he conducted himself on the field. I felt like he was throwing hissy fits all the time. He was yelling at everybody, and so. when I just was like, because he got benched after a while, and that helped the Memphis Express. I was not surprised at all he wasn't picked.
So let's move on now. I had to get the rebuttal because there was a heck of a reaction going on over there. But
Sorry, man.
No, it's all good. I like this is what these shows. There really is no schedule. There's no schedule. We're just kind of doing what we want here. JDash, biggest draft snub.
Biggest draft snub. Let me make sure he's not in the league right now. Just, seeing I messed up on the other section. It's going to have to be Trent Richardson, my opinion. That guy was a beast in Birmingham. Short yardage was pretty good. And we thought he was going to go at least in the earlier rounds, but we thought it might be in the open rounds. Yeah, it's going to be odd not to see him in the XFL uniform, seeing that at the time when he was announced, he was advertised as being maybe one of the top key players in the league. But, hey, that's like with Trevor Knight. Remember, he had a little highlight reel for the XFL, and he never got drafted. So I think Trent Richardson is my big snub. So
yeah. So you stole mine there. So I'm going to pick the other option, which I kind of agree with them both, even though he wasn't in the draft. I'm saying Johnny Manziel. I don't think, and I'm going to preface it this way. I don't think it was a snub in the fact that he's better than the other quarterbacks, but I think the name recognition. I think a lot of people expected him to be in there. But as far as quality of play, and this is nothing against Trent Richardson, he's very good at those short yard plays. I think of the list that I had up there, he probably is the biggest snub there. But the fans have spoken. Let's see what they had to say. Let me get this queued up here. So the fans, Johnny Manziel, they agree with me. Again, it's a little bit of a workaround there. He wasn't really in the draft, but I quite honestly, I don't think there were a lot of snubs in the draft. I think we got a lot of the right players in the right places, so that one's kind of a tough one. But we're going to move on to the best uniform. Again, this doesn't need to be your favorite or your home jersey, but the best one. I'll kick it off here. Actually, yeah, I'm going to kick it off. I'm probably going to steal someone's, but I don't care. I'm going with the New York Guardians. I think that's probably the most solid jersey uniform out there. One, their away, it's the whole combination, right? Between the ball, the helmet, the home, and the away jersey. I think they're all solid. There's bits and pieces of each other jerseys that maybe I like a little bit better, but I think the Guardians, over the top, I think just the complete package. But JDash, best uniform, favorite uniform.
Dallas Renegades, baby blue and black all day. I just that color combination just pops out more to me than any other. I would say Tampa Bay, but it's too green. There's too much green.
Yeah.
That's joking. Tampa Bay's not even in the list, so it's going to be the Dallas Renegades.
I like it, man. Tron Hawkins, best uniform. What do you got?
We lost Tron again.
Oh, man.
Let me try to add him in, but in the meantime, Delivery Guy, best uniform. Who do you got here?
With the color scheme, now I don't like the logo, but I like the way the Seattle Dragons put their uniforms together. The way their colors look, the way, even the home and away. And I looked into that because with the away jerseys, I like the Vipers away jersey, their home jersey, that green on green. You're right, that's just terrible. The Renegades were close. Their color scheme's really cool. But I have to say, I think the Seattle Dragons did a great job with their uniforms. Again, their logo is not good, but I like the way their uniforms came together at the end.
So we got Tron back. So let's go to you here. Best uniform.
It's the New York Guardians. I think they're going to win by a landslide. Just the helmet, the color scheme. The only thing I don't like about the uniforms in general is all the away teams kind of look the same with all the white. But to me, the New York Guardians is the best one. Just everything about it, including the helmet's the best helmet in the league.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really hope they start selling away jerseys because that would be the one I would buy instantly. Is that Guardians away jersey? I think they're really slick. But let's see what the fans had to say. Best uniform in the league goes to New York Guardians. I think a couple of us expected that. But yeah, I started it off with, they are the complete package, right? And so we really only have one thing left here is the announcement of the year. But I think before we go into that, I think it's awesome that we did get a good mix of answers in this poll. When I first kicked it off, quite honestly, I had just expected it to be everything St. Louis or Seattle or neck and neck. But I think we got a good mix. Unfortunately, these Houston Roughneck fans need to pick it up and get in the next poll here. Hopefully that end of season poll, the Roughnecks are on that favorite team list. But we're going to go to the announcement of the year. There was a lot of big announcements that the league had. Like I mentioned in the show last Friday, the luxury of next year is we're going to have all sorts of different things to talk about, right? We're going to have real games and a championship and trades as we're kind of seeing now. But right now, we really just have these announcements that have led us up. So, XFL Delivery Guy, your favorite announcement of the year?
I would have to say it'd be when they announced the names and logos of all 8 teams. When they did the live broadcast and they had in Colin Cowherd and forgot her name, but they did the press conference and they released the names and logos. Because I remember I was delivering and I pulled over, stopped, and got my phone out and was watching it. And then after it was done, I kept delivering. So for me, I was super excited about that. And we waited so long for it. They teased us for so long, and they finally gave it to us.
Yeah, that was like the longest summer because it was, we're going to get them in March, maybe April, June or July for sure. Then August finally came around, and I'm not going to go on here. Tron Hawkins, best announcement of the year.
The team uniforms. I liked how it was just an all-night thing. I kept refreshing Twitter and Facebook, just waiting for new ones to pop up. I thought that was a lot of fun, and he had the little videos about it, and everybody was just on there just talking crap about him, and some people even praise, but I think that's the best. That was the best announcement, just waiting all night for it, just refreshing, waiting for the next batch to come out. So yeah, that was my favorite. That was my favorite announcement of the year.
That was a fun night. Yeah, that was a little bit different way to announce it, not by not giving them, all at once, but throughout the same day. It gave a little bit of an excitement there. But JDash, announcement of the year, what do you got?
The announcement of the year is to my haters out there that troll me on Twitter. It's Bob Stoops. The announcement of Bob Stoops, in my opinion, or the head coaches, especially with the name of Bob Stoops, made the XFL a legitimate league right off the bat. Because Bob Stoops, who is a legend in Oklahoma, would not leave Oklahoma or go coach at football with a gimmick league. And Bob Stoops made the XFL legit. So I think Bob Stoops hired and the coaches were some of the big announcements, which was a very long summer, but that was a good way to start it off.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you there. But my favorite one, and I'm going way back. Oh, this wasn't even in the year. The locations were last year. Crap, now I got to pick a different one. I didn't even look at my own options. I am the worst host. I'm bad at this. So, yeah, I'm going to probably say the team identities. I know, Delivery Guy, you started off with that one. But, yeah, just finally seeing what we're fans of. Right, finally having the opportunity to see that logo, and honestly, even for the logos that are a little bit down on the list, I think all of them are pretty solid in the long run. Right, I don't think there's any that are in there that are similar to the old XFL where they're just too cartoony. Or granted, the old XFL had a few good logos in there, but some of them just I don't know. I always hear that people love that Maniacs logo, but to me, that feels too. I don't know, secondary league, whereas the new XFL's logo all look at least professional or on par with a college logo, which in my mind is a good thing. But let's see what the fans voted. Biggest announcement, best announcement of the year. We're rolling. Let's see what we got. And I hit the wrong button. It is the team uniforms. I was surprised by this. Now,
I got 2 right.
Hey, sign you up. I thought it was going to be the team names. I thought for sure it was going to be the team names. They came in second. But I will say,
Well, to be fair though, the uniform happened the latest, so it might just be like recency bias is why that one won.
that may be the case. That may be the case. But this, hey, we got through everything. We had a couple problems. It wasn't too bad. But hopefully you
fun.
stuck with us. We've been talking about it the last couple months. We're going to announce the winner of our 2-ticket giveaway. So to be entered into that, you would have had to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel, or like and comment on any of the videos. But the most important thing here is it was also a Discord exclusive, so you had to get up to at least a rookie status. We're trying to build that XFL community. And so if you haven't already yet, click the link down in the description for the Discord and come and hang out with a bunch of other like-minded XFL fans just like you and me. But hey, sorry to waste the time here. We got the winner here. It's Olaf Slayer 29. Here's what you need to do. Shoot me a DM on Discord, and you have 48 hours from now. Actually, I'll give you 48 hours and 10 minutes. So if I don't receive an answer by 8:30 or 9:30 Eastern Tuesday, I'm going to pick another person that qualifies for that list. So hopefully you're listening. I'll tag you in the Discord as well, just to give you that opportunity. I shouldn't do it though, because you should be watching this stream. But I hope everybody had fun. So I'm just going to run down the list. I want you guys, let everybody know where they can find you on social media. If you have a YouTube, a Twitter, Facebook. If you have anything you want to say, a shout out, go for it. We're going to start with you, my man, JDash. Like I said, it's been a long year. You and I have been doing streams for probably about a year now. But where can people find you? What do you got to say?
You can find me at XFL Newsroom Unhinged on Twitter. And you can find me on Anchor and on XFLNewsroom.com and our Discord. Podcasts drop every week. Well, haven't been lately, but we will now. Got 2 dropped this week, so go listen to them. And we are, XFL Unhinged, are also doing a ticket giveaway. I got approval for it to do it. We're giving away 2 tickets to any game of your choosing. You got to listen to the podcast and see what my opinion is about the footballs. And you have to get it correct. You got to DM me on my Twitter or Discord to get an entry of that. The winners will be announced in a few weeks.
Hey, sign everyone up. So if you didn't win this contest or this giveaway, you got to be very specific with the wording of that. I've learned from legal people in the past. If you didn't win in this past giveaway, check out XFL Newsroom Unhinged. That might be your spot. Moving on to Tron Hawkins. Dude, it's been a long year. You and I think we go back the longest in this call. But we did, I started helping with that podcast probably a little bit around this time, or maybe a couple weeks before this time.
Yeah, it was.
It
was. I started the day the cities was announced. And now here I am a year later. It's crazy how much support we get from the community and everything, especially since I don't have any fancy equipment. I'll just record in my kitchen. But it's been a fun year, and I'm ready to finally get 2020 done. Like, I'm ready to get January 1st here and start looking forward to the league in 2020. And I can't wait out until March when I come out to Houston and get to see a game live.
Sign them up, and you better not root for the Dragons, or I'm going to leave you at the stadium. No, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna wear 2 shirts. The Houston one and the Dragons. I wear the Houston ones first. If something goes wrong, I'll take it off.
All right, my man, first time, but probably the best time to be the first time on the show. This is our biggest production, XFL Delivery Guy. Where can people find you? What do you got to say?
You can find me on Twitter at XFL Delivery Guy, or on Instagram and YouTube, which is also at XFL Delivery Guy. I'll be making one more video prior to the start of this season. I'm in the works of it. I'm starting on it now. And then once the season kicks off, I'll be releasing one every week, delivering my picks on who I think is going to win their contests. And so I'm looking forward to getting started and finishing at least one season. And I know I'm predicting that we'll have a bunch more seasons after this first one.
I think you're right. And hey, if anyone's, not for if anyone, for the people that are listening now and in the future, keep an eye out. The Delivery Guy is going to be dropping his first article on XFL Newsroom. I believe I have that scheduled to come out tomorrow, but if it doesn't, it comes out Tuesday. Don't kill me. It's the holidays. We all got family and friends and things to deal with, so get over it. But, I'm going to say my piece here. It's been an awesome year. I don't know how, some way, somehow, we've become the most followed, most subscribed XFL news outlet on Twitter and YouTube. And to me, that's the best gift I could ask for. Now, again, like I mentioned in my last video, we've had our screw-ups. I'm not afraid to admit that I fell for the fact that the league wanted me to think that Terrell Owens was going to be in the draft. But it happens. At least I'm honest about it, and I come out, and I always try to do my best, and quite honestly, just learn from our mistakes. So if anything happens in the future, let us know. We always want to hear from you guys. Also, if you want to join the team, head over to xflnewsroom.com, click the Join Us button. We're always looking for contributors. We can never have enough. There's going to be so much stuff to talk about as the games start kicking off. But before we let you go, if you didn't know, we're also on Facebook and Twitter, so make sure you give us a follow at XFL Newsroom for all the latest news. And since we're on YouTube, make sure you drop a like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to see when we're dropping new videos. Some are going to be pre-recorded and some are going to be live, just like this one. So until next time, sign everyone up, and thank you guys for joining me.